Today, we're going to cover a compiler mechanic that is unique among all other node graph editors currently available. I'm calling this feature Node Graph Activation, and it is what allows me to create custom nodes that can change their sockets dynamically. Let me explain. In the last two videos, we discussed how we can use port, type, and option nodes to build custom node sockets. This knowledge is sufficient for building lower-level abstractions, where only one type of input is transformed into one type of output. However, to achieve higher-level abstractions, we'll need to combine these lower-level nodes into multi-purpose networks. In many cases, especially when we start targeting different platforms, nodes with the same purpose will have different sets of parameters. A naive approach may combine these different sets into one larger set of node inputs, throwing out irrelevant values if they're not needed. Obviously, such an approach will not be scalable in the long run, since each new level of abstraction will inevitably add more parameters, leading to impractical node designs. To remedy this, my compiler has the ability to enable sockets based on conditions, allowing users to only display parameters necessary for a certain type of operation. This mechanic also disables any internal nodes if their relevant sockets aren't active. Such activation states allow node graphs to contain multiple operations without resulting in multiple outputs. So how does it work? Let's start with what we covered last time, types and options. If a node network receives some data of a certain type, the corresponding type node is activated. This means that if a port node has multiple type nodes, only one can be active at any given time. Option nodes for select sockets work exactly the same way. This state of activation is then propagated through the node network. Nodes connected to active types or options are also activated, followed by the nodes connected to those nodes, and so on. In a simple node graph with a single type of input, this feature is completely irrelevant. The real purpose of this feature lies within node graphs that have multiple input types and dependent sockets. Input ports don't necessarily need to connect to the input route. They can also connect to types and options. If an inactive port node is encountered due to a connection to an inactive type node, for example, then that corresponding socket isn't rendered. This is an extremely powerful feature for node design, since it lets us toggle between different sets of parameters for different inputs. But we can get even crazier with it. Port nodes don't only accept type and option connections, they accept truth values in general. This allows us to activate certain sockets based on a condition we may calculate at an arbitrary point within a network. The built-in condition node is fairly simple to understand. The first selection input specifies what the incoming data should be interpreted as. The second selection provides different Boolean operations we can apply to the specified input. All of these operations are binary, so the next two sockets are always reserved for two operands. The resulting truth value is then provided in the two output sockets at the bottom. The first output leaves the result as it is, the second inverts the value. This is done to allow activations based on a condition returning false, for example. Let's take the generalized 8-bit integer node I built behind the scenes as an example. It combines our signed and unsigned 8-bit integer nodes into a single interface by switching between the lower-level abstractions based on a switch value. And that's all there is about this topic. It all appears more complicated than it actually is, but now we really need to get back to building our first executable. See you there.